hapo pia ilikuwa hivyo sasa. But again, secondly, I want to look this issue from another perspective, because usually nilisikianga there is a saying yenye nasemanga that change is inevitable. And you know, this thing I've been saying it since morning. I spoke it somewhere that perhaps the death of Raila Odinga is going to mark a drastic change in this country, in the history of this country. So since change is inevitable, it might be possible that with the passing of Raila Odinga, the death of Raila Odinga, that things will no longer be the same from now onwards. So let us, I'm trying to take it positively, because now things are going to shift, to be honest. But I want to condemn those politicians who have been riding on Raila's court, wale wenye wamekuwa and those are the people who are most bitter. If you can look around well, they are the people who are most bitter with the death of Raila Odinga. The likes of Junet, the likes of Opondo Kaluma, these are the people who have been wamekuwa wakichekelea Gen Zs and ridiculing us when we were fighting to liberate this country from the impunity and corruption and the incompetence of Ruto. So these are the people who are most bitter, because now they know there will be no more direct tickets to being an MP, to being a governor, or being a senator. Even here in Nairobi hapa, people like Sakaja, they're the people who are most bitter, because they know they have not been working and it's only Raila who has been saving them all through. So it is high time that the voters will stop worshipping politicians. Tuanze kutumia akili pia sisi. I have seen people worshipping Raila, worshipping him like God, and even bowing down, putting an image of Raila na wanapiga magoti na wanamuomba as God. If you think I'm lying, you can go through TikTok and you can see miracles, vitu watu wanafanya. So this time round, this should show us that sisi wananchi, we are the people who have the power. So let us now start reasoning logically and stop worshipping politicians. We have that power. Raila amekufa, itapita na itaisha. Let me tell you that in the next one month from now, nobody will be even talking about Raila again. Itakuwa tu inakuja kama inaitwa anniversary or Mashujaa Day. That is when we will be remembering. So hiyo ishapita. So the question we should be asking ourselves is then, what next from there? And another thing, now that Raila has died, what do we expect from our biggest enemy in this country, mwenye mnajua ni Kasongo? What do we expect from Kasongo? Na mnajua tu vizuri, he is also going to tighten his grip on social media, especially on X, because he knows this is the most fertile ground. Hapa ndio kuna real soldiers. So again, we should be ready for what is coming up. Now tuko na shughuli pale mbele sasa. I think last time when we tried to liberate our country, Raila stepped in. Yeye ndiye aliharibu. Kusema tu kweli, because we were almost going to liberate this country. Then he came about akasema dialogue. And then we had the broad-based government, which ndio imeharibu kabisa. He has destroyed this country totally. So it is upon you to decide whether you are emotional. You have to think logically. Whether you are celebrating or you are sad about Raila's death, put that aside. Right now it's time to think logically na tujue what should be the next thing that we should be doing ndio tusaidie hii nchi, tukomboe hii nchi. And I like what Jauma Bey said that let us go and register as voters. That is the only thing that will help us. Let us go and register as voters. Nenda uchukue kura, hiyo ndio itatusaidia 2027. If you don't register for the voters, we will be yapping here all through. Ruto must go, Ruto must go. Come 2027, Ruto will not go. So go and register. Gen Z, let us go and register and get ready for 2027 so that early in the morning saa 12 kura tumepiga, tumemaliza hiyo story. Kasongo aende nyumbani, aende pia yeye, so that the next we bring in new leadership, pia yeye aende huko Kamiti, akae huko, akule maharagwe huko. Yes, so that is it for today as we await the unfolding of other events. Yes, meanwhile, thank you so much for the chance and good evening. Asante sana.
Asante pia Osama. Wewe umechukua kula ama ni kuongea tu?
Mi kura yangu nilichukua 2017 Wanjiru.
Okay. Sawa. So vijana mchukue kula. Nimeona commentator ameniuliza hizo story nimesema kuhusu IEBC. As I said, I think hata iko recorded. There is a guy who came here, I think like an hour ago, ama an hour and a half ago. Akatuambia he went to IEBC today kuregister as a voter and apparently aliambiwa only 60 people wanaruhusiwa. So wakishaweka 60 people wanafunga mitabo zao na wanaenda. Alienda before wafunge, unajua wanasema wanafunga sijui 5, akaenda 4 before afunge, akapata ishafungwa kitambo and things were done. So I'm not becoming a bearer of bad news, but IEBC is suppressing people as we are speaking. Is suppressing voting the system out. Naruto is doing it behind the scenes. Na mkikumbukanga pia chairman wa IEBC ni rafiki ya Ruto. Ruto ameweka hadi cousins wake huko IEBC. So sijui bona mnataka kupatia Ruto another 2 years za kutusuppress zaidi ama za kutuibia zaidi. Ni nyinyi mnajua, maoni ni yenu sio yangu. Anyway, as for this moment I want to give it to Oponyo and then I give it to Uncle F na kuona Chacha. Then Oponyo, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Wanjiru. Yeah, my name is Eugene Oponyo. The founder of Zalendo Movement Africa, which is an organization for climate, environment, and farming, smart farming. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. The reason why I've seen the reason why to point it out about Wazalendo is we deal with young people on daily basis, or other people or other communities, because we help people have food. We help people create food. We help people grow their own food. So we interact with people on daily basis. And having today, we've lost someone who, whether you like him, whether you hate him, this is someone with a legacy. And a legacy, most of us, or rather even all of us on this life, or rather on this space, we might never get our names to where Raila Odinga's name went to. Because yes, all of us, we have all our faults. Even you, me, there are things we do right, there are things we don't do right. And life will still judge you harshly, especially if you're a public figure. But because we are just private citizens, the things we do in the dark, no one knows about. But the things Jacom did enlightened in the dark, at least we knew about. So I'll not join people into maligning his name, into maligning his legacy, because even us having this freedom of speech, we have
I assume by your age, you are kind of a little bit older than I am, but you're not coming to my space to bring tribal behavior here. Chacha, I love you, but if you're coming to this space, tell us why you like him, why you are actually celebrating his life and not his death. Why you yourself? But don't come here kutusi Wakikuyu, kutusi Wakamba, kusema umeona Mdugiriama akisema. Hiyo ni udaku ya watu wa kijiji. Utakuja hapa kuleta udaku ya watu wa kijiji, and I believe with your kizungu mingi you look like learned. Imagine ulienda shule alafu unafanya udaku. That is not good. You're supposed to demonstrate a person who is reasoning with reasons. But hutakuja utusi wa Kikuyu. Sasa umeanza kusoma ati when Jomo Kenyatta, when Ogiga Odinga, please. We are those who are mourning mourn, wengine chane. So, Chacha, I would like you to continue. Before you say something, let Chacha finish his submissions, but he has to be respectful to other people. Usikuja kutaja makabila hapa, speak for yourself as Chacha.
I don't want to be ad hominem the way you have been, but I also want to apologize to those who are outliers, who do not conform to this narrative. That I will be committing a fallacy of generalization. It's not all people from a particular region, a section of them, but overwhelmingly a majority. And what I was saying, I was giving historical context. That Tom Mboya's death was celebrated. Martin Shikuku's death was not celebrated. Neither was Sharif Nasir of Mombasa. Katana Ngala's death was not celebrated by any person from any part of the country. When Robert Ouko died, his death was also celebrated. There was no celebration of when Masden Madoka, I think there is a guy from Nani who died. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, or Anyona in Kisi died, just to say a few, or Martin Shikuku. So or Masinde, for that matter. What I'm trying to say is that these celebrations have been more pronounced when it's a Luo, a leader who has died. 1969, Tom Mboya, there were celebrations, literally. Written, it's in the book, they're documented. Robert Ouko celebrated, and Raila celebrated. So there is nothing peculiar with this celebration. It's a pattern, I think, partly because maybe the parents who gave birth to some of us had celebrated the death, and they think that they owe us every reason to tell us to celebrate another Luo death. That's what I will say. So you might not understand how some of us have fallen into this trap, but the truth of the matter is, every senior Luo leader who has died, their death has been celebrated overwhelmingly from particular pockets of the country, and not by everybody. I want to withdraw that statement, not by everybody. And the good thing, I say this because I have read that part. I can lend you this book if you want. So is it by coincidence that Ouko's, Mboya's, and Raila's has been celebrated, and not George Anyona? There is something. There is a particular narrative being driven. So I understand you might not see it on the superficial part, but if you dig deeper, it's more deeper than what you think. So it's a narrative being propagated, and it has achieved its.
women na akafanya drama kwa barabara, and it is clear. So some of the politicians that you've mentioned, they have been assassinated by their own politician. So probably what Wanjiru is trying to tell, or whatever Wanjiru is trying to pass, is the people who have been in politics, they kill each other. They go after each other. But we cannot now start saying, oh, these people, all that people. Every other Kenyan is suffering right now. Every other Kenyan is going through a lot of things, and now we are focusing on most. We are not saying that the death of Baba is not important, but the things that Kasongo signed, the bills that he has signed today, are going to destroy this country, and nobody is focusing about that. And probably, and I'm sorry to say, they might use this. They might have even known the death of Baba longer before they do all these things. So these politicians, let's not give them credit, Tavadali. The young people died. Nobody talked about them. They were killed at the gate of the parliament. Nobody cares about them. No, Kinares Masai, nobody cares about them. These politicians, they have wealth. They are living like kings. They are enjoying. Even their death now it is their families are not affected. But the death of a young person who has a family, the person who mwenye alikuwa anavutwa na polisi on the ground, nobody cared about that. Huyo jamaa aliacha mtoto na
who feels the deepest pain of this death is Mama Ida, but I want to add others. The people who are feeling the pain of this death is Raila Odinga's spouse, Ida, the children, and maybe the immediate siblings. Those are the genuine people who are feeling the immediate pain of this death. And that is, I'm speaking about when it comes to politicians, because I know these politicians, this has really caught us. It has caught them flat-footed, because there are very many of them who have never imagined how are they going to buy? How are they going to buy minus Raila Odinga's portrait on their posters? How are they going to buy without mentioning Raila Odinga? How? It's going to be very strange, Pepita. Very, very strange, because this is the language they have known. Even as late as yesterday, I was watching a clip of Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga saying, "Anyon kusukiranyon, agwe kusukiragwe," that which loosely translates to "Can I kick Gachagua?" He has touched the name of Raila Odinga. Can I kick him or can I leave him? Can I spare him? That's how bad it is. So how it's going to be, I don't know. And honestly, all of us don't know. It's you can't lie that you know, because none of us here has been in Kenyan politics minus Raila Odinga. That's how old it has been, many years. And I want to mourn Raila Odinga. I've seen people are celebrating his death. For me, I want to celebrate his death in a different way. Not just because not because he has died, but I want to celebrate his life for a life well lived. He has lived his life well. He has lived for 8 years. He has left a mark in this country. He was one of the people who fought for multi-party democracy. At least the man might have had his weaknesses. True, he's a human being like me and you. He has had his weaknesses. But let us celebrate the good things he left for this country. Let us celebrate the fact that he fought for democracy. He was arrested, detained, This is a man who did not even bury his mother. His mother was buried in his absentia while he was in jail. That's how bad it was. He did not even get a chance to bury his mother, to pay the last respect to his parents. This is how bad it is, So, and all this time, if you look at this country, if you look at Kenya, the democracy, the free speech we enjoy right now, he was part and parcel of those who fought for it. Yes, he has had his weaknesses, like a human being. In one way or the other, he has fell short of glory. When we expected him to rise, maybe in one way or the other, he did not do it. And they're just like me and you, whatever good things we do, maybe his bad deeds were always in public because he was a public figure. But us, me and you, what about the bad things we do? Because we are not public figures. And people never really get to know about them. Why? Because people never really get to know what Peter does in darkness. Eriye, we knew what he was doing in darkness, we knew, but now me and you. So as much as we want to bash Raila Odinga's past bad, let us also appreciate the good things he did. And as far as politics is concerned, I agree with Olwande that this is going to shape the political landscape very, very much because I see people who will not be re-elected. People who have always been hanging on his shirt. There are people who have been even pushing him to vie. I've been pushing him to vie. Because if he doesn't vie, their political journey is in jeopardy. And this has really, no one saw this coming. No one thought Raila was going to die like this. And the fact that Raila, with all that money, has died like a chicken, it's very painful, man. He has died with all that wealth. You can imagine Raila Odinga's net worth. He has just died like that, collapsed and being wheeled on a stretcher, now in a coffin. The coffin itself looks very cheap, man. It's very painful. It tells you how life of a human being is. Spend your lifetime well, live well with the people, love everyone, be kind to everyone, and do not despise anyone. That's all the message I can leave with everyone. Let us mourn him. I've just heard he's gonna be brought back to Kenya tomorrow, and he will be buried, I think, on Saturday in accordance with his wish. It's 72-hour wishes or something. Let us leave the old man to rest. Let us mourn him in death. Let us celebrate the good things he did, and let us learn from his mistakes. Let us be better people. Let us continue to agitate for change. The people who are not happy with him as well, in one way or the other, because of his political decisions. Now this is an opportunity to fight more for a better country. It's an opportunity to demand better accountability. It's an opportunity to ensure that the next government that comes in be a mark, leave a mark in it. Go to IEBC, register as voters. Get off all those people. All those bad leaders we don't want. It's an opportunity. Kama hujachukua kura, enda uchukue kura so that your voice can count. That is the only thing that can change us as a people. As for Raila, he has walked the journey. He has lived his life. He has left a mark. And all we can do now is to wish him all the best and for me as a human being, I know that people who are here, heaven here, and they're happy he died. But for me as a human being, all I can say is I wish him all the best in his grave. I wish that his body it goes to heaven. I wish that the Lord is my sincere hope that the Lord will comfort his family and may he live to see the next heaven, the next life that maybe in one way or the other he deserves. All that said and done. I want to ask every Kenyan to be peaceful. Let us not engage in acts that might undermine peace. But even as we agitate for change, that is part of life. And may the old man rest in peace. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you, Ja Homabe, for that. I can tell how honest and sincere your sentiments were. Before we go to Kuzo, Kanini, and Matt, I'd like to ask you, Ja Homabe, because I asked this question earlier and I was told that I need to research, which I have done. But there were sentiments by a couple of speakers that there were people who were mocking Raila Odinga's health before his demise, but their references were to what certain political leaders, like you said, how what's her name, the governor for Homa Bay, if you could remind me, Gladys Wanga, sorry. Yeah, Gladys Wanga, what Gladys Wanga said, but nobody told us when Gladys Wanga said that Rigathi and Kalonzo have mocked Raila Odinga's health. Nobody told us if they had also had the same statement, or were they just relying on what Gladys Wanga had said. Do you have any idea what she was referring to?
No. I think was it yesterday or the other day? I think she was reacting to the opposition. The ODM. In fact, this problem came from the ODM themselves. And I no longer believe in ODM. I no longer support that party. I was a life member of that party. I left that party. And with due respect, I am not bitter, but I think what came from the party was that the statement they issued in regards to Raila being indisposed, and then they mentioned Kalonzo Musyoka, and then Wiper Party reacted to that statement. I think on that particular case, ODM was wrong. They should have just focused on mentioning why Raila is out of the country without dragging the name of the opposition leaders. And then I think after that, Rigathi said, Kalonzo never virus, Kalonzo bacteria. And then when I'm Kalonzo. So it all began from there. So I think yesterday or the other day, Gladys Wanga was reacting to that statement. So saying that he was, when he was speaking in mother tongue, in vernacular, and maybe if I translate it in English, it simply means that, can I kick regarding or no? Can I kick? And there's a way when you say it looks like it appears it will not really make sense to us here, but it was like, can I fire him? Like, can I kick him or leave him? Can I spare him? He's joking with the name of Raila Odinga. Can I work on him or not? And then the people were saying, work on him. So it's just normal politics where sometimes you fire people and you're like, can I deal with Renda, with Peter? He's joking with my leader. Can I deal with him? So it's just that kind of thing. And I just brought it up in reference to how I feel that some leaders have always hung on Raila's cloth for political survival, including the Governor Gladys Wanga. Because was it not for Raila? I come from Homa Bay. Was it not for Raila Odinga, she wouldn't have become the governor of Homa Bay. That's the truth of the matter. Because in fact, Raila got him from, he was number 4. Those who were vying, in fact, she would have not even made top 5. John Mbadi was supposed to be the governor, but Raila called all these people, called Evans Kidero, you Honorable Yugi Magwanga, Honorable Kidero, Honorable John Mbadi, and Gladys Wanga, and brokered a deal. Honorable Magwanga was made Wanga's deputy, and then Raila told Mbadi that he will be a CS in his government, and that's how Gladys Wanga ended up getting the ticket. when on the ground she would have not been the governor. That's the truth of the matter. So I was just mentioning it in regards to how these political leaders have been hanging on Raila's cloth, on Raila's influence, on Raila's support, and the kind of psychopaths they have been put in. So that's how that I think maybe she was trying also to show the public the level of psychopathy. And to a large extent, that is something that people are not happy about, where people or leaders get elected based on, not based on development, based on who you know. So as Olwande said, this demise is going to have a big political ramifications in Kenya as a whole, because there are people. It's now going to be a fair competition. It's maybe not. It's going to be a competition where Olwande is vying, I am vying. What agenda do I have? And not who do you know? That's what I meant. Thank you.
Thank you, Jahoma Bay, for that. For those who don't know Jahoma Bay, he's an active participant on X. He's usually in a lot of football spaces, but in any space that he is, whether football or politics, he's very sincere and very objective in what he says. Thank you very much for that, Jahoma Bay. I think we'll go to Kuzo Kanini and then Matt and then Japonji, and then we can give it back to Pipita or Japonji to tell us the way forward, and Malia as well in Olwande. Okay, Kuzo Kanini, go ahead.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening to you.
Yes, thank you for this chance, and I want to send my condolences to the Raila and all his supporters. His death is pata wengi wakiwa katika hali ya kushtuka. But anyway, I've come on the mic to dispel some myths that I've had some statements from other speakers, na nilikuwa nataka tu hapo hivyo kurekebisha kidogo. There's a myth that it's only the Mount Kenya people that were celebrating the AUC when Raila lost the AUC chairmanship. That is quite wrong. Why? I'm speaking from Western Kenya. So I mean Western Kenya. And this is where I live. This is where I was when that bid was going on. At that time, there was there was a lot of resistance for Raila to even go for that AUC bid. Why? And
Kuzo, I think you have a problem with your
texting me and telling me that he's not okay. Kuzo, I think your mic has to be refreshed for some reason. Yeah. What do you think? Should we stop the space, because it has been running live from around 4 p.m., from around 10 a.m. today? What do you think, Red Hat Republican? Do we restart it?
Okay.
I think you could
yes,
give...
PP, I think, yes, you need to restart so it can be stabilized. Because it dropped me out severally, even when I was co-host.
Okay.
Nilijipata nje.
What are the restart?
Sisi tukikatwa, watoto wako wanasoma free of charge, wetu wakiteseka. Tumeona venye Ruto amekufanyia kazi. That aside, thank you so much Junior Kumu. Ruto azidi kukufanyia kazi venye amekufanyia. Barabara za kwenu zote ni lami, yani barabara za kwenu zinapitika, hamuna shida. Amefanya kila kitu. Anyway, nimejam. Anko F, ukoje?
Leo niko juu ya maji kama feri. Hey, I say nimetafuta hii mic. I hope mnasikia.
Na tunakupata.
Being a Christian. Yeah, sure. Wacha niyatoe moyoni. Lakini like the host said, hii ni yangu. I say, me I never mourn. Okay, I never, hata Bible inasema wenye wamekufa hata Quran ukisoma. Wacha tu. Don't speak bad about them. I was a supporter of Pluto since the long. Mimi si Gen Z, I'm an old person, man. Hata ukiangalia account yangu, I've been here for a minute. Mimi nilianza kabla Gen Z waanze kujua X ni nini. So, Raila has been my person. Amekuwa like a mentor. We have been in the streets, man. We have eaten tear gases. Kuna jamaa alisema huyu jamaa kama kuna kitu ana learn from Raila ni being fearless. Do you remember Raila akitoka UK last time Uhuru akiwa in power? How much effort it took him to just reach CPD? Watu wangapi walikufa ile time? That was the Raila I knew. But sasa things turned west when Ujamali, yani when he chose to assume the death of our sons and daughters. That was 1 year ago hey, I got a lot of threatened calls. Because in this very, very space, I spoke my mind. And my mind is correct. It hit hours when you want to follow hapa hivi. Mimi, hao kina Chaza wanalia hapa. Mnafaa mjiulize, yes. Ilikuwa natural. CDF alikufa mkanyamaza. Kila mtu wenu anakufa mnanyamaza. And then you cry. Politicians, yes, they can arrange people from Kisii, they can arrange anywhere. Hata kama ni watu 10 wanapea 2,200, 1,100 wanachant. The deal is done. Politics is a dirty game. So I was telling you about the war in Israel. Nikawambia kuna labor and they are trying to bring socialism back. And Ruto is the best choice in Kenya. And you can see the people he's teaming up with. Jamaa anauza nchi tu life. Why? You will sell all the assets of the country and then it will become a socialist kind of structure. Ile ya Watanzania walikuwa wanafanya kitambo, ile ya kina Russia na China, maana hamna kitu. Hizo vitu ni nani anaziona? You can't control the airport, you can't control shit. You are just following the air. So as much as Raila is spoiled, hiyo tu ndio kitu iliacha niache kumfollow. You know, as you get older, they say you unakaka mtoi, and I've come to understand that. So me sina issue na Raila. I know amekuwa prison. Some of you have not gone to prison, it hurts. And I want to finish saying now, what next? Mimi, what next is, after tumemaliza kumon Raila, these guys, can't we get root out of the State House, man? Everything is being personalized. Kila kitu inaenda kwa mikono ya nani? Jamaa is getting richer and richer. You think ana sign deals na nani? Man, you know, even candidate now, amutai hizo. Jamaa anafaa atoke to State House, and then we get a youth leader. Now things have changed in different generations. We don't think different. Things have really changed. I can tell you. Hata wale wenye wanafanya kazi siku hizi, some of them, they cannot adapt to computers because they're too old. Things have changed. Come on, guys. So jamaa sijui hasla nini hapa. Mwenye anasema tumungoje elections, it cannot work because now in maths, in politics, you work with maths. Jamaa shatoa kikwazo yenye alikuwa anajua okay, who can stand against Ruto now? Huyu jamaa ni wa kutolewa tu kama mtu mwingine. Kenyans led the world, and now the Gen Zs, they led the world, and now you see the revolutions all over. Huyu jamaa mkifikiria eti mnamtoa kwa Poland. Jamaa amefungua borders. Watu waingie from left, right, east, just to be a president, just to spoil the country. Which makes me wonder, Kalenjins, the politics, you know, from history, okay, mliniambia nisiende hapo. I remember. But from history, I believe we shouldn't go that side. We should choose people who are more patriotic, who love the country, who protects the borders. Another thing, let's get the old folks out. Totally.